Exists in unions. Discrimination does exist in the labor movement. It is true that organized labor has taken significant steps to remove the yoke of discrimination from its own body. But in spite of this, some unions governed by racist ethos have contributed to the degraded economic status of the Negro. Negroes have been barred from membership in certain unions and denied apprenticeship, training, and vocational education. In every section of the country, one can find local unions existing as a serious and vicious obstacle when the Negro seeks jobs or upgrades in employment. Labor must honestly admit these shameful conditions and design the battle plan which will defeat and eliminate them. In this way, labor would be unearthing the big truth and utilizing its strength against the bleakness of injustice in the spirit of its finest traditions. How can labor rise to the heights of its potential statesmanship and cement the bonds with the Negro to its mutual advantage? First, Negroes should accept the logic of its special position with respect to Negroes in the struggle for equality. Although organized labor has taken action to eliminate discrimination in its ranks, it has not raised high enough the standard for the general community. Your conduct should and can set an example for others, as you have done in other causes for social justice. You should root out vigorously every manifestation of discrimination so that some internationals, central labor bodies, and locals may not besmirch the positive accomplishments of labor. I am aware that this is not easy or popular, but the 8th hour was not popular nor easy to achieve, nor was outlawing the anti-union injunctions. But you accomplished all these things with massive will and determination. Out of such struggle for democratic rights, you won both economic gains and the respect of the country. And you will win both again if you make the Negro's rights a great crusade. Second, the political strength you are going to need to prevent automation from becoming the Moloch, consuming jobs and contracts, gains, can be multiplied if you tap the vast reservoir of Negro political power. Negroes, given the vote, will vote liberal and labor because they need the same liberal legislation labor needs. To give an example of the importance of the Negro vote to labor, I might cite the arresting fact that the only state south which repealed the right to work law is Louisiana. This was achieved because the Negro vote in that state grew large enough to become a balance of power, and it went along with labor to wipe out anti-labor legislation. Thus, support to assist us in securing the vote can make the difference between success and defeat for both of us. You have organizing experience we need, and you have the apparatus unparalleled in the nation. You recognized 5 years ago a moral opportunity and responsibility when several of your leaders, including Mr. Meany, Dubinsky, Ruther, and McDonald, and others, projected a $2 million campaign to assist the struggling Negroes fighting bitterly in handicapped circumstances in the South. A $10,000 contribution was voted by the ILGWU to begin the drive. But for reasons unknown to me, that drive was never begun. The cost of us in lack of resources during these turbulent, violent years is hard to describe. We are mindful that many unions, through thought of as immorally rich, in truth have problems meeting the budget to properly service their members. So we do not ask that you task your treasures. Instead, we ask that you appeal to your members for $1 apiece to make democracy real for millions of deprived American citizens. For this, you have the experience, the organization, and most of all, the understanding. If you would do these things now in this convention, resolve to deal effectively with the discrimination and provide financial aid for our struggle in the South, this convention will have a glorious moral deed to add to an illustrious history. The two most dynamic and cohesive liberal forces in this country are the labor movement and the Negro freedom movement. Together we can be architects of democracy in a South now rapidly industrializing. Together we can retool the political structure of the South, sending to Congress steadfast liberals who, joining with those from northern industrial states, will extend the frontiers of democracy for the whole nation. Together we can bring about the day when there will be no separate identification of Negroes and labor. There is no intrinsic difference, as I tried to demonstrate. Differences have been contrived by outsiders who seek to impose disunity by dividing brothers because of the color of their skin has a different shade. I look forward confidently to the day when all those who work for a living will be one, with no thought to their separateness as Negroes, Jews, Italians, or any other distinction. This will be the day when we shall bring into full realization the American dream, a dream yet unfilled, a dream of equality of opportunity, of privilege and property widely distributed, a dream of a land where men will not take necessities for the many to give luxuries to the few. A dream of a land where men will not argue the color of a man's skin that determines the content of his character. A dream of a nation where all our gifts and resources are not held for ourselves alone, but as instruments of service for the rest of humanity. The dream of a country where every man will respect the dignity and worth of human personality. That is the dream.